o'clock up until noon. I'm here with the best of the best to do it, to give us their honest opinion. See, sometimes when I listen to some of the arguments, I'm like, yes, go girl, yes, go guy, you're doing amazing. And yes, it's good to see. And I'm just here as an individual, first of all, but I'm just going to be hosting the show. The people that is going to go back and forth and go head to head, they're here, live and direct. Starting off with our balance, the one who is checkmating me, because he will say, "Nah, Gift, you can't be the one to judge all of this." I have Alex Elias Agbasiere in the building. Alex, how are you doing this morning?
I'm okay. It's good to be here.
It's how you just go. I'm okay. I think good to be here.
Yeah. So something is happening. There's a change going on. In the world. Yeah, but
what is the change about? Do you want to let us in on that?
I don't want to let you in on that.
You don't want?
No.
Then how would we now fix this country together?
What? I'm not even talking about this country. Anyways, moving away from that, it's good to be here.
It's great to have you.
This Friday morning, it's the 30th day of May 2025, and tomorrow marks the final day before we enter the 6th month of the year.
Absolutely.
And tomorrow also marks it an important day for football lovers, because we get to witness the Champions League final, which will be officially the final game of the European season.
Okay, we're not doing sports here.
No, it's not sports.
No, I don't. What is this? What is this getting into?
Hold on. Hold on, I'm not done with my intro.
You're introducing yourself.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just the mood in the studio. All right, it's just something I don't like to enter a place and I don't feel, the energy, so to speak.
Don't worry, the energy is about to come out with the conversation that we're going to have today.
So one thing I do is I like to put things out there. Yeah, even on my show, I like to tell people, I like to see smiley faces. I don't like to see gloomy faces, because I'm seeing gloomy faces.
I don't think it's gloomy faces. I think they're overly prepared and they're about to go head to head.
They're not overly prepared. Let me finish. All right, let me finish. I don't like to see gloomy faces, personally speaking.
Who's gloomy here?
So when I walk into, be it a bank,
Lord,
an insurance company,
Alex has come again.
Even in a stadium, I remember one time I went to go watch football in Mobolaji Johnson, and then I walked in from the south end of the stadium. They have the north end and the south end, and then I walked in, and the first set of fans that I'm seeing, they're not confident that Ikorodu City were going to get the victory. And I'm like, I don't want to be around these people.
Alex, Elias,
because of my press pass, I had to go to the VIP section,
Elias,
where I saw smiley faces. And where I saw people who were ready to watch the game.
Elias,
Anyway,
it's too early,
but it's good to be here.
On Friday morning.
It's 11:11, special time of the day.
Please go away. Yeah. Well, Alex, of course, the intro that I don't even understand right now what's going on with him. But I have two amazing individuals here ready to do this topic justice.
Yeah. One smiling and the other with a gloomy face.
Ladies first, I'd like to introduce Marvelous.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing fine. Thank you for bringing me here to talk again.
It's always exciting for Marvelous to be here, right here on the show. But Marvelous, I mean, how's it been? You've been part of Shots Fired like twice. How has it been for you?
Well, it's been a very, would I say, it's not challenging, but exciting.
Exciting.
Yes.
Right.
And I don't know, I'm just happy.
Oh, that is so sweet. And of course, we have Basil Dennis the 7th in the studio. Basil, are you the gloomy face that Alex is talking about?
I don't know.
You have no idea. All right. Alex,
I like to set things straight. I mean, he's the guy with the gloomy face.
Okay.
For obvious reasons, but then
obvious. When you say obvious reasons, what does that even mean?
Obvious reasons. He's carrying a gloomy face. That's the obvious reason.
Okay, you can see him. They can see him.
They can't see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, is this a dramatic?
I want to be dramatic this morning.
No, you're the balance, so you can't be dramatic. You have to listen attentively to both ends and get. But I mean, let's just listen up, guys. Yeah. Let's just have this conversation once and for all. Well, in 2020, we did know what hit the world: COVID. And so many things happened. Of course, sadly, a lot of people died. But something that was particular that happened in 2020 was a lot of companies going into allowing their workers work from home. That is, doing remote jobs. So if you were in the banking sector, if you were in different sectors, you would be asked to start, reporting that's when virtual meetings started occurring, and people would go on Zoom and all of the virtual networks to actually have meetings, carry out tasks. The Google Meets and all of the likes gained momentum during that period, which led us to thinking that maybe that was the end of the world. But no, of course not. It's not the end of the world. And because we're here today, live and direct, but advancing from that, we did see that quite a number of offices decided that, you know what, we didn't even need to be in a physical space to carry out the task that we needed. And some closed up their offices and say, instead of paying rent, I'd rather my workers work from home and be efficient enough to deliver their own part of the bargain. I hired them, I'm paying them salary, so they should. And working from home became a thing. Now, some offices will do, okay, you know what, do a few days off, a few days on site, a few days off site, work remotely. And to now that we're seeing that a lot of people outside Nigeria would gain, a lot of people in Nigeria would get jobs outside Nigeria and work remotely, work virtually, and they're making a lot of money from it. Which leads us to the topic of discussion today, the debate conversation that we're having right here. And it's sweet, it's amazing, and I really want to hear what our two debaters are going to have to say about this. So it goes thus: is remote work more productive than working in a physical office? So you know your stance, because I already gave you ahead of time. Marvelous. Do you want to go first? You went first last week? Did you? Oh, no, you didn't go first last week. Oh, yes, you go first this week. Let's do this. Is remote work more productive than working in an office space?
Well, I feel remote work is also productive, but working in an office, it just helps, for the, how will I put it? Working in an office helps people to be more productive, because when you go to the office, face-to-face interactions, it fosters accountability. You see your other employees, you see your manager, you know that you have to report to them at the end of the day. So it just pushes people to do their best and be exceptional at what they do. While if you work from home, you can have distractions and everything. Maybe you can say you want to watch Netflix while you're also on your laptop, all those kind of things. So I feel like working from the office makes the workers more productive.
Okay. All right. You have 5 minutes on the line. Let's go. Shoot me more pointers. I want to hear them.
And then we all know that working in an office, you need employee relationship. You need a good employee relationship. So working in an office, you get more interaction with people around you. You know people around you. You know how you both know how to work well. Build personal not really personal relationship, but at least build relationships that will build the company. Helps innovation, and then fewer misunderstandings. If you're working through remote where you send email, maybe one person forgot to do their task and you have to send an email and everything. But I feel like if you're working face to face, it's easier. You can just talk, say, oh, sorry, you forgot to do this, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then it's solved. Compared to lagging, when they will say, okay, we're having a Zoom meeting by 11. Before maybe one person is having network issues, one person is lagging, they can't hear what other person is saying. So I feel like office work is more productive in that sense.
All right, fantastic. That was Marvelous giving her submission, an opening argument for this conversation we're having today on Shots Fired, with the topic being, is remote work more productive than working in an office space? Over to you, Basil. What do you think about this? 5 minutes is on the clock.
I think for starters, working from home is more cost effective. It saves costs, and even physical safety, because of the society in which we live in right now. And then it's the work efficiency is better productivity, because when you are in your space, and sometimes because of the society in which we live in, most employers, with all due respect, some do not even know, they make it uncomfortable with the environment for you to have better productivity. What I'm trying to say is the pressure, the way they talk to their employees, the way they approach them, sometimes even the office seats and the table can affect your productivity. Sometimes people, even what they're wearing, many people don't want to wear suits.
Okay.
Exactly. Some people rather be in a t-shirt. That's why you see some tech companies that come, they just tell people, You put on your sneakers and your t-shirt, and their productivity there. You see those companies online and the way they talk about them. They are the ones pushing things and all that. And then you go there and like, wait, they're very simple. I like the environment. There's music playing. There's a coffee place and there's a mini kitchen and all that. It's different from where they have very rigid, stringent rules. You must not do that. Once it's this, you must this. You can't talk. You can't. Hey, madam is around. So when we are home, working from home has really changed the world. You can come up with an idea. You can be really flexible, and then it saves a whole lot, even as a country, even the economy as a whole, even traffic.
Aha.
Exactly. I'm not even talking about just Nigeria or Lagos right now. Even traffic, it dropped it a whole lot. You don't have all this, and then by extension, it cuts down accidents. When traffic drops, it's true. Lesser cars on the road, lesser accidents. More productivity, more time to do stuff, and health-wise, people's lifespan are better, increased. Because some people sit from, like in Lagos, for example, some people, most of the hours they're on the road, they sit from 6 a.m., they sit on the road till 10, 11. They go to the office again, sit down, they just have maybe a few minutes to walk into the office, sit down again till it's 4 p.m. Maybe they stand up for like 30 minutes. Some people don't even go on their breaks because of the unnecessary, rules, and the environment is so tight. You can't do this, you can't do that. So they don't even go on break. They sit there again till 5 p.m. They are back again sitting. And that has cost a lot of men, especially, their fertility. Yeah, biologically, their marriages by extension is true because it affects the health. A lot of people don't know.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, no, I know you guys. You got me there. But a lot of young people still don't know this. I think I know why he said that, because the other day we were talking about it. A lot of young people don't know. You need to just no. It goes on. Who is going for the bet? Maybe it goes on. Who is going for the bet? Maybe one rep if you are lucky. It's what goes on. They move, and that's it. So more people are encouraged to, as much as you can, create your own thing. If you don't have companies who employ you, go online their sites and then just go back to straight back to remote. And I would encourage more companies to stop this. And 3 days, 2 days come to the office, then 3 days, and 2 days at home. 3 days.
The hybrid system.
It's almost the same thing.
Okay. All right.
But so more productivity, and that's it. Okay. And then I noticed that when I listen to people who, when they're having this, what's this meeting on Zoom? Yeah. When they're having Zoom meetings and all that, you see the energy when you're having a chat, especially when it's, younger people, is different. The productivity is different from when you're in the office. Trust me.
Okay.
It's more positive.
All right. Thank you so much, Basil Dennis the seventh and marvelous Ene. Right? Ine. Ini. Oh, okay, fantastic. I in my head I saw INE, but then I saw INI, and then another ENE. It's a lot going on right here. But I think that was the opening argument. You can be a part of the conversation. So if you have ever worked remotely, or you are working in an office right now, or you're doing the hybrid system, tell us which works for you. Where are you more productive? And let's do a poll. Where are you more productive? Are you productive more at home or when you are at the office? 0705 6900927 is the number to call. 0705 6900927. Now, both individuals mentioned productivity. Now, I'm going to first come to you, Marvelous. How productive are you when you're at home with office work?
I would say
No, I'm sorry. I think she got.
That's
the
why she's
question a bit
speaking
wrong.
the office.
I'm trying to probe her.
No, yeah, I know, but
I think she got confused with the
picked
question.
office.
What
She
did
said
you say?
office is more productive. That she rather works in the four walls of an
So
office.
she thought you
than
meant when she's at home.
No, okay, I
No.
was asking
okay, when I'm in my
per chance.
Okay.
Like when you are in your house and you have to do office work, how productive do you think you are?
Okay.
You said
That's why I
50%.
said 50%. Honestly, because
Basil
there are
Dennis the
distractions.
seventh. How productive are you when you're at home? With all of the distractions that we know exist, from watching a movie to being on a call with whoever, to working, to cooking, to cleaning, and to doing all of that. How productive do you think you are?
Almost.
You are going to be
because I've
almost
done this for
100.
years.
You think you're productive? That's
I
from a
could be
personal
at work
stance.
a 9 to 5 online, and I could be in another work which we're having, a committee meeting, a plan, and all that. Because I've done it for. I'm not saying it's easy for everybody like that.
Okay.
I'm saying I'm more productive than if I'm in an office. I can't juggle 2 meetings.
But you think you can juggle 2 meetings when you're at home?
Yeah, because in an office, you can't even be on another page in an office on your system. We all know
Let's
that.
see who's calling. We have a call quickly.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What is your name and where are you calling us from? All right, you may need to call us back to be a part of the conversation. 0705 6900927. What kind of relationship? Okay, we have a call. Let's see who's calling. Hello, good morning. Scrambled network. Seems like it's rain about to fall. Please
So,
do.
so,
Okay,
so as I
go
was
on.
saying, in an office, we all must have gone through this one time or another. In an office, if you're supposed to be doing something on a certain page, sometimes you have somebody coming over your head to say, "What are you doing?"
Not
You
all
know that,
roles,
you
but
understand? But
go on.
sometimes you have that. But at home, you can actually, because in an office, I don't know why a lot of people do not know, especially people that are living in the past. I'm sorry, they don't know that you can actually be on this page, switch to the other page, do this thing. Why?
So
but some
are you
people want
saying
you to
that-
leave everything, attend to this email, and
Are you encouraging people to not pay rapt attention to the work that they're supposed to do?
no, I'm
and be on
encouraging-
other pages
I'm
that they're not supposed to be on?
encouraging people to give people a chance to work comfortably and effectively. When you're putting there's what they call
So what
very
you're trying to say
unhealthy
is
pressure.
the office rules
Yeah,
sometimes hinder.
I'm not saying offices shouldn't have rules, but
Yeah.
very unhealthy pressure sometimes it affects. Even in schools, exams, it affects in teaching people. There are 2 different ways to teach.
Okay, he said something about if you're working in an office, you cannot do 2 things at the same time. I feel like office just brings this sense of professionalism and discipline. You know, waking up in the morning, dressing to go to work, commuting, you sit down, you do what you're supposed to do at that same time that they task you to do that job. So I feel like it's
So working
all
from home
about-
doesn't avail you the opportunity to meet up with tasks?
it's like you can also meet up with tasks, but not as efficient as the way the company will want you to.
Fantastic.
Like,
All right, let's see who's calling. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Ola Brown from Tanzania.
Ola Brown from... Ola. I missed you the other time. I see that you couldn't call again. But tell me, Ola. Talk to
Trying to
us.
call back, but it was not answering.
Yeah, I figured. So tell me, Ola, do you think working from home and working from the office will give you the same amount of productivity?
Yes, working at home I guess it's best for me because I've been working at home for about 5 years now.
Oh, since 2020.
And one thing about it that if you're not disciplined, you cannot work from home.
Right.
There's a lot of distraction, and you just have to be disciplined. And there's a lot of advantage if you're working at home. You can do a lot of things, like 2 things at once. You want to cook, you want to do some other things, and you're still on your work. So there's a lot of advantage.
Okay.
At work, home is the best for me.
All right, Ola Brown, thank you so much for calling in. He's saying that working at home, if you are not disciplined, I like that he mentioned that discipline is
true.
what is supposed to be the forefront of all of this
Yeah,
conversation.
absolutely spot on.
We're going to go on this rather short break. When we come back, it is still your One Family, One Radio, Supernuts 2.7. Shots Fired is live.
Ready to kick off your morning with a blend of the latest news, fun conversations, and a dash of entertainment? We've got it all. The Super Breakfast Show. Start your day with our traffic update, giving you ahead of the commute as you avoid those traffic jams and get to where you need to be fast. And super upper with some of the headlines things to do. Would you rather have it? At 7 a.m., it's Real News Now. Giving you all the latest stories with accuracy you can trust. Did you miss the dailies? The Pages has got you covered. Don't miss the spotlight where we bring you the latest topical issues and you have your say too. After that, get ready for some serious fun with the Big Breakfast Game Show. Your chance to play and win cool stuff. We're not done yet. Step into the pop from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's a potpourri of deliciousness like croissant, the baguette, not food. Oh, family matters, dear men, tech spaces, today's woman. It's all that and more. The Super Breakfast Show, Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. Let's make breakfast super again.
You've been looking for avenues to reach a global audience. Would you like your business to reach your target audience and people from all walks of life? Call our commercial lines on 0816 41 93677 or Ojo Oluwole Street, Victoria Island, Lagos. Put your business on blast on Super 92.7 FM, your one family, one radio.
Are you ready for a battle of words?
So what do you stand to gain by going?
So if you have nothing to hide, why
If you're looking for it, you will find it. And when you find it, you destroy the relationship. So are you happy now?
Get ready for Shots Fired, the high-energy debate-based program where opinions clash and sparks fly. Each episode brings together two passionate voices with opposing views on today's hottest topics, whether it's politics, pop culture, sports, technology, or society. The stakes are high, the arguments are sharp, and the competition is fierce. Our host sets the stage. Then it's game on. Timed rounds of fiery arguments and rebuttals, where each debater fights to win you over with compelling points and razor-sharp wit. Who will sway the crowd? Who will take the heat? It's the ultimate test of passion, knowledge, and persuasion. Shots fired. The debates are real, the opinions are hot, and the conversations are unforgettable. Tune in every Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon. Join the conversation and decide for yourself who's got the best shot on Super 92.7 FM. One family, one radio.
Someone saying I'm trying to limit his voice. What is this? What is
don't
going
do
on?
that.
I don't know what Alex Elias Agassier is on the road this morning, and it's
Don't
okay.
do that.
92.7 Super FM, your one family, one radio. We're committed to giving you an amazing show this morning. It's Shots Fired, the 30th of May 2025, 11:32 a.m. And yes, we're talking about a particular subject matter that you definitely want to be a part of. It's a debate. It's called Shots Fired. That's the name of the segment. And this debate is basically on working from home and working at the office or working from home. So the question goes thus: is remote work more productive than working in an office? For this topic, Basil Dennis is saying, you know what, it's much more better to work from home. And of course, Marvelous is saying, nah, work in the office because it helps interaction. Now, I want to ask you, you don't think that people that work from home interact even better than people that see themselves face to face at work?
I feel like people that see themselves face to face interact better.
How so? I can interact with you via mail, can't I?
Yes, but what if at that point I don't have data or internet issues? Like, there's so many things to consider right now.
Well, you were paid.
Even
Even
if okay, how many times do you have like network issues, and then maybe somebody sent you an email and you didn't get the email on time, and the person thinks that you got the email and just ignored or you did not respond? That causes a misunderstanding.
Yeah, a rift. So, Basil Danis, in response to that, would you think that interaction between individuals that work remotely is smooth, and does it avail them to have proper conversations and not imagine or assume things?
Yeah, it's way better, and it's smooth, and it's safer, you know, and it keeps people on the job. Why I use the word safer is because it's easier for you to throw tantrums at the office, gossips, get distracted, create unnecessary enmity.
You think people
that
gossip?
people? No, I'm saying no. Hold on.
I'm
that
hearing
space,
it.
in
I'm
that
hearing it
space.
now. That's
Yeah.
me asking. So it was
Yeah.
me probing that made him say, "Oh, I've worked there
So
before."
No, I said
literally
at the
what?
beginning, like I've
so-
been to two companies, like worked there, been part of it. I've experienced this unhealthy. It's really unhealthy. Like the way people go about in, you know, the society in which we live in, these employers and their rules and all that. It's they create a very unhealthy environment. Trust me. Most offices, people are working on eggshells. Some, if not most, let's say, let me not exaggerate, but some offices, eggshells, and that's bad for productivity. Trust me. And some bosses wonder why. Oh, why are people not doing this? Why? You're trying to solve a problem. You're coming to yell at people because you're paying them like they're slaves, and you're raising your voice and talking to them like they're kids who don't know what they're doing, and then you still want the best productivity from them. Wow. But when you're at home, you can actually not be on just one thing. You can freely do stuff, you can walk around. And guess what? There's a part that we leave us. It's funny, on the lighter notes. You know, you can put off the AC when you're at home. And nobody will say, I want it on. There are some things that we just overlook that Nigerians. We do it a lot. In some offices, you have to force yourself to cover. You have to, because guess what? I'm not saying you shouldn't live for other people that day, but when you're at home, you can actually make yourself very comfortable, and it helps the mind.
You don't think that comfortability is a little too comfortable for the company?
No, it's not.
How so?
It's not, because there's a tracker on your work. We forget that at home. They are not left to just go. You're being watched. You know, there's a tracker on it. You're guided. You know.
Watched.
Yes, exactly. We are working remotely. It's not like you can sleep and wake up. There's a time frame, so you focus on the work. We all know that.
Okay.
So, and again, but I'll add that I still agree with you on the part of discipline too, because some people just get too comfortable and it gets dangerous. But it's still better and it's safer.
So as someone who would, I don't know if you have a company, but would have a company, would you want as an individual to have your workers work from home completely?
Oh yeah, sure. When we just have meetings and we have to meet them, we meet. That's when we have to meet physically. We have to, because most meetings can be done,
virtually,
WhatsApp or yeah.
Okay, I wanted to come to the costing aspect of this. Over to you, Marvelous. If I'm earning 500,000 naira in a month, and I get to spend 300,000 on fuel and transportation alone, how is that productive? How does it bring? How does it circle down? Because it's how my life is that I will be productive. How does it circle around to me working from home?
Okay, well, most companies, when they will hire you, they'll ask you where you stay, so they'll know the distance. If it's something that will not affect your salary, if something that will not put a huge strain on your salary. That's like, even before, when I was working at, they will ask you, where are you staying?
It's considerate companies, but go on.
Yes, like there will always be the good and the bad. Even remotely, they have some companies when they say, hey, I hope this email finds you well, but definitely that email is not finding you well. So,
okay,
like you cannot say some companies put, and when he said time frame, we all know that, okay, you are working 9 to 5. Then some employees, like, even if you are done with your work, I know that, it might sound toxic or somehow, but I feel like it's discipline, because they are saying 9 to 5. When it's 5, you clock out. Nobody is saying you should wait for, any
HRO meeting whatsoever,
or wait for your manager. I feel like companies that do that, maybe they're not like, very professional. But most professional companies, they will tell you to work the time that you're supposed to go, and you go. That's just how it works. And then he said, if you are doing remote work, you can do multiple things. I feel like if you are working remotely, it blurs that line between your personal and your work life. If you're working in an office, like I said, you clock in at 9, you clock out at 5. You know that, okay, after 5, you have the time to do, to go out, to go to anywhere you want to go to, you can do that. But if you're working remotely, there's a thing like, maybe you've not achieved something you're supposed to, and they'll be like, okay, you cannot log off yet. I don't like, that's a thing, because I have a friend that works remotely. I think she does this virtual assistant thing. So like, they give them tasks and they're like, okay, you are not allowed to like log off. You have to be active doing that work. So like, at the end of the day, you find that most people that work remotely, they end up being burnt out because they are working all through. They can work like from some people will even say at midnight they are still logged in working.
Right.
So
like you earlier mentioned, there's no distinction between their personal life and work life. They're doing it 2/7. Okay, so Basil Dennis, is there a distinction between your work life and your personal life when you work remotely?
I thought you were gonna ask me the resources, the money, the pay.
I'm asking the questions that I want to ask. I'll ask you that if I want to ask. But tell me.
Okay, so anyways, there's a distinction.
How so?
Because when you're working, now what I said earlier, which I'll still keep to, is the good thing about working remotely is you can be, some people run they can run their business. Like for example, if you're a lady and maybe you're doing zobo, groundnut or chin chin, you can actually be achieving that. You can never achieve it most offices. Is one thing what they are doing there, you can't achieve it in an office. Let's not even argue about that. Okay. But at home, you can be running your thing. And it's a great thing to be able to achieve, because guess what? These companies will let you go one day. And then somebody who has been working remotely and working on their own thing at the same time, and somebody who has been going to the office, there's a difference. That person has already gone way far into their business. when you get retired, you start from, you don't even know where to start from. And then some of these guys might end up employing you because while they were working remotely, they were doing their own thing and it was there. So they can easily say, okay, you know what? You guys, you're stressing me. I'm out before I get sacked. So, but back to the question. Yeah, you were talking about what
I'd ask
that's
your
where you put the
productivity,
question.
like, what is the thin line between putting work and
Okay, yeah. Now
home? Yeah, and the
that's
things
still
like, as your personal
it still
life.
boils down to it still boils down to the clock in and clock out, the timing, and then discipline too.
But she just mentioned now that some people clock in and they have to do work even when they have to have family time.
So what I know from my experience and the little I know, I may not know. I don't know everything. You understand? But that's her opinion, and she has facts to back it. But what I know is, when I asked one of my friends, okay, why are you still working? She's like, I didn't do this before. I went to do something else. We're allowed to continue. You must just make sure you finish it within 24 hours. That's what some companies do. I don't know about others.
So you don't think that some companies have the because someone that they hire works remotely, they sort of have control over your time because of that clocking and clock out, that if you don't carry out a task, you'll be held responsible for that?
No, I don't think they have control. They take advantage of the fact that it's flexible and you're at home and you're not in the office. Now, why
because
I said
I know some 9 to 5ers,
why I
they
said
own
they take
you. Like
advantages.
well, go on.
So what I said is take advantages. When you're in the office, they know some companies that respect the time. Like, some companies still make you work when you left the office. But they know that this person, that's why some people tell you, go and meet, for example, like, go and meet Alex. He will soon clock out. He'll soon be going home. They know that once it's 4 or 5, that day they can't get anything out of you. But when you're at home, it's easy to say, can you just do this? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's even talk about team collaboration and maybe spontaneous innovations in these two aspects of work. Now, in a remote setup, do you think that there is team collaboration? Do you think that this would spur innovation in the long run in that organization?
Oh, yeah.
How so? Some people don't even know the people that they work with. And there's no proper interaction between them beyond the office work.
Did you say there's no proper interaction?
Yeah, I just said that.
Okay. I think, well, you can say that.
I said sometimes there's
no.
no. You didn't hear? I said sometimes.
Okay.
There is no proper interaction between them, only based off of work. And we know that communication between one person and another would spur innovation. Oh, let's discuss this. You know how we are in an office space where you all are just bouncing ideas off each other. I think we should do it this way instead. Oh, no, this way. But everyone being in their own separate houses with different distractions, right? And communicating via a computer virtually. How would it spur innovation? Because I'm thinking about my food that's about to get burnt.
That's why there's no company that does remotely all through the year. They meet at least once a month. You meet in person and then you do that brainstorming session.
Once a month?
Times, some companies meet once a month in person.
Okay.
You do the brainstorming session in person. But most times you can achieve that online. I'm saying that I've achieved that with a lot of teams, and it worked. So it takes discipline too, and the attention of people and the time frame. You put a time frame to the meeting and the brainstorming session, and then you work within that time. You still get the best.
So I'm asking team collaboration now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I just answered.
Yeah, because I wanna also bring us something from this conversation. You said it would still spur innovation. I'm asking from the standpoint of different people that are in different houses. If Alex is in Yanokwaja, I'm in Yanosa, she's maybe in Mile 2, you are in Aja, and everybody's just in their office on their laptops trying to work. And then, of course, we have different distractions. I could have a baby. She could have a husband that is needing food. You could have a wife that... So many distractions that you are trying to face. He could have a dog that he needs to cater to. Would that bring about collaboration to spur innovation?
Those distractions you mentioned wouldn't bring about collaboration when they are not focused on the meeting. That's why I said when you're done, people don't go to those things. When everyone is Zoom, you have to be there. If you're not there, we all know when somebody's distracted. You have to be there.
Okay. So I want to talk about flexibility.
So yes, it brings about innovation, great ones, because you have to focus on that, what you're doing at that point in time.
All right, you want to say something?
Problem-solving skills are faster, which is more helpful to the company, builds innovation. Because when you're in an office, like a random problem can just come up and they throw it at you, and you're like, you have to think fast to solve that problem. And if you're working remotely, if that pressure is not there, like you don't think fast enough the way the company wants you to. I'm not talking about the employees' well-being, right? I'm talking about what is good for the company.
Okay.
If
So
there's
you're
a
all about the
problem-
company and not even human resource.
No, like I'm also about the company.
How so?
But I feel like the employees should work for the company, not the company working for the employee.
So I don't have an opportunity to do side gigs, because how much do you even pay these days in companies that I want to focus solely on coming to the office 24/7, or 5 days a week?
Well, it's
9
not
to 5.
24/7. I feel like
9 to
after
5.
when you clock out, you can do whatever it is you want to do. You can do your business. And most offices actually, they don't like follow you, monitor you back to back. Most people, they have businesses and they still work in an office environment.
But you know that offices, sometimes when you get home, that's when they send you messages that, oh, please reply this mail, and then you are on your laptop for 2 hours, you wouldn't even know.
Well, that's also a case. But
Okay, I just wanted to get that out of the way. But then, something that was also mentioned was lifespan. We know that a lot of people have died from stress, being in traffic. Some people have even died while driving. Yeah, I've heard of stories like that in Lagos. And I think about it as, oh, this person must have been going through stress. So tell me about stress management when you have to go to the office.
Well, I feel like it's like I said, it's all about discipline. You have to like plan yourself. If you are going to the office morning, like you have to know that, okay, maybe when I come back I might go out, like try to balance it.
With
If
traffic
it's
in
not-
Lagos? 9 to 5?
People still make it work. That's why,
Okay.
okay, traffic in Lagos is for people that you cannot be working on the island and you're living on the mainland. People tend to forget these things. Maybe because they see a company that is offering them like maybe 1 million naira or something like that. They'll be like, okay, they can juggle it. You get. So that is like, will I say that is their own problem? Because even most companies nowadays, if you go on LinkedIn, Indeed, they will always ask you, do you stay close to this place? Like maybe the company is in Aja, they'll say, okay, do you stay close to Aja? Where do you stay? And most people lie. Maybe some people don't even be like, no, I stay close. But meanwhile, they're staying somewhere like maybe Ikorodu or something. Normally, people that go to work, when I say work-life balance, you have to plan yourself. Think of ways that you do things outside your work that will make you feel better and manage stress better.
In a state like Lagos, where we know that traffic situation is is the order of the day, and you have to leave home. I love to go to the gym. I love to exercise, and health is also one of the conversations that was brought up by your co-debater here. And he says that a lot of people who work from home would rather sit back, would actually avail them the opportunity to take care of their health a little better. They can go to the gym, because they're not going to be stuck in traffic for 3 hours. If they're doing 9 to 5, they can go to the gym at 6, come back at 8:30, have a bath and sit in front of their computers till they're about to clock out at 5 o'clock. Depends on what they want to do. Now, for someone who has to go to work every single weekday, Monday to Friday, where is the time for my health? How do I go to the gym? How do I take care of myself if I have to do a 9 to 5? If I'm not disciplined.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have to be disciplined. You have to be intentional about taking care of yourself outside your work life.
With Lagos, traffic?
Yes, with Lagos. Okay, are you saying that we don't have people that go to work from 9 to 5 and they don't still go to the gym? We have people now that go to the gym by 6. Okay, yes, you said with Lagos traffic. You just have to find a way to juggle it. Like, we also have people that go to gym very early in the morning. By 5, they're there. By 6, they change their clothes and they're like. So, that's not really...
Okay, so at the end of the day, I'm hearing that it depends on the individual, and it depends on you being disciplined as an entity to ensure that you're balancing work and you're being productive. Now, at the end of every conversation as such, I am going to try to say something, especially with sedentary lifestyle. Now, with someone who works, I'm going to bring it back to you, Basil Dennis the 7th. With somebody who works at home, and I know someone who's a tech guy. He works at home and is dealing with his weight gain because he has to sit in one place from 9 to 5, and he's eating steady because he has to work with his brain, right? So do you think that working from home will not make you live a sedentary lifestyle?
I'll be very honest and not answer you because I want to win an argument. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, if you miss it with checking that properly, you get too comfortable. You could lose a whole lot in the process. So I think you have a point there. If you miss it, you can actually, and with all due respect to the guy, I think he needs to be more discipline and more intentional, like she said, I'll use that word, about generally home office be more, but it's just that
Because when
office,
you're at home, you
it's
want
ju-
to eat a little
yeah
more.
it's just the office makes, that's true, I wouldn't argue that. It's just the office makes it more difficult to, if you had a plan, the office makes the plan more difficult to keep to. That's for your health. But that guy, I hope he changes, and he needs to work on it intentionally, and you need to keep them away. Stay away from, sometimes if you're in a space where your fridge is there, you can shut the door and all that.
Right.
Those things to nibble on, keep them away, because the truth is, you are likely to want to touch something that is on the dining table if you put your laptop there. Some people leave the room, there's a table. So now what people do is, I'll just suggest this real quick. What people do is be intentional about working from home. First things first, buy a table, a desk, get a chair, put your laptop there in a room where there are no stuff to distract you. Keep your phone for chatting, if you have 2 phones, away, put it aside. In fact, keep your phone away, because guess what? Your WhatsApp now can be on your laptop.
Right.
Keep it away and focus on just that place. Because the truth is, when you move to the parlor, you move to play. Moving around the house too is good for your health, but it can actually distract you.
For someone whose father or mother, they still live under their parents.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this because I did see a post on social media about a young girl saying, my mother doesn't understand working from home. She just thinks that you're taking a holiday and you just have your laptop and you're just touching it. And her mom had to ask her, she had to sit down and tell her parent, like, I'm working. That means I'm invisible. Don't see me. So in a situation where you have to meet up with the needs of your family, who is there with you, you live with them, how do you now ensure that productivity ensues?
Basically, communication, like she has done. From day one, you explain, and possibly, this might sound extreme, but I've seen people that do it. If you can afford it and you have your own room in the house, put soundproof it. Because especially when your company is paying you well.
Okay.
And they are respecting your time. Some people do it, they'll soundproof and lock the door. You keep knocking, and I've told you, and you can put it on the door, be intentional. People do these things on the door, work time, and that's people,
All right, fantastic. Any final arguments from you?
Okay.
In 1 minute.
1 minute. Okay. You said remote work, you have to soundproof. Let's just say people that do these remote jobs, they have families. Can we just remove like those people? What about the people that are single? Like the young people nowadays, we know that young people now are moving towards remote jobs.
Yeah.
And so on the likes. What happens when you are living alone 24/7? Okay, fine. You are on your laptop, you are doing Zoom calls and everything. But at the end of the day, you've not spoken to like one person. You have not even spoken to another person outside of your work people that you have
You could be losing your mind.
Yes, loneliness.
Oh.
So many things. And those things, you said something about the tech guy that is fat. Sorry.
That he's on the big side, yeah.
Fat. But all those things tend to lead to depression and loneliness if we're looking at it. That's why office work, you can interact with other people, you can see other people, you can say, okay, maybe this person is going to my tutor, so like let's work together, or like it just it makes
Great for conversation, at least.
Yes.
All right.
Like it helps the mental health.
All right.
Okay.
Basil, then it's 1 minute.
So, for me, it's just a suggestion to companies who haven't moved to it, starting with Lagos. More companies, please. There's hardship. The pay is low, income is low, and the traffic is still there. And people are really, for real, people are just dropping dead. Like, they just slump and they're gone. A lot of young people. Cut it down to 1 day in the office, please. Some companies are still doing 3 days, 4 days. Please cut it down to 1 day.
All right, thank you so much, Basil Dennis the 7th and Marvelous. On the topic, is remote job more productive than working from an office space? Well, I cannot do justice, judge these two individuals, so I'm handing over to Alex Elias Agbasiere. Talk to me.
Well, I think that they had a wonderful conversation, and it was enjoyable to listen to. But I lean towards working from home because I had more points, so to speak, based on the argument on the table, and I didn't really hear anything that was surprising to me when it comes to working in an office space, because you literally said the things that maybe I know. He said some key points, and one of the things is, and I get what you're saying with being in an office space, having to have conversations with people who you work with, your colleagues and stuff like that, but there's another code that says you don't have to be friends with anybody that you work with. That's number one. That's, just to put that out there. So sometimes what you're going through in your personal life, nobody in your office has to know. Just putting that out there. And you also said something. I mean, if I'm working from home, that level of dedication, you're paid. And sometimes people who even work from home get paid way more than people
that
who
work at the
make
office.
their way down to the office every day, jumping the bus and, going through all that traffic and stuff like that. So I'll give it to Basil on this one because, like I said, he presented his argument better than Marvelous. So on this one, but notwithstanding, I think that we all have worked from the office. We all have also had moments where we worked from home, and we all have our personal experiences. But on this day, being the 30th day of May, I'll give it to Basil, and just to wrap up the conversation. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Just so that I'm just a little cheesy. Do you want to work from home next week?
I want to work from home every day.
Does your work have you the opportunity to want to work from home?
It doesn't have to be
cannot.
here. I have to be here. But
Crazy
if I have
sounds.
if there was that leeway and leverage for me to do that, I mean, it would be nice to just put a mic somewhere in my room and just do my show from the comfort of my room, and afterwards I go have drinks with the guys and just enjoy life.
Well,
yeah.
This is pretty much all we bring to you. This beautiful.
But working from home is
Friday.
not that easy. Please, let's not. It's not easy. So
It takes a lot of discipline. It takes someone who's quite disciplined because your fridge is there. Me that I like to cook, I will go to the kitchen and just whip a meal, and then I'm back. Oh, you guys were saying what again? So you see, I mean, you need to be dedicated to working from home. But I really like the arguments you both had presented. I absolutely saw reasons with why it's important to actually work from the office. Because if I'm paying you, I need you. I need your dedicated time. I need the stipulated time for you to be there. And of course, if you being away would give us more leverage, why not if not? So yeah, we have come to a close on Shots Fired. The Gifted Goddess is my name. Basil Dennis the 7th, thank you so much for joining us today. Marvelous.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for
always.
joining us. And Elias Aguasire, Alex.
yeah, wonderful show.
All right.
Yeah, we do this again next week.
Yes,